Today I'm going to be demonstrating a recipe of Marry Me chicken over angel hair pasta. Here are the ingredients. So for this recipe, the ingredients include angel hair pasta, fresh oregano, or you can use the dry oregano, either one would work, pepper, salt, paprika, thyme, flour, chicken broth, heavy whipping cream, a jar of sun-dried tomatoes, fresh Parmesan cheese, and boneless chicken. To start, you want to go ahead and get water to boil so you can put in the angel hair pasta. I've already been boiling this water. In this water, I put salt and olive oil so the noodles won't stick. Okay. So I have four boneless chicken breasts. I like to fillet them in half to make them thinner so then they cook evenly. So I've already rinsed the chicken, patted it dry, removed all the extra cartilage, and I just start in the center with a sharp knife. Just go straight down the middle. So each breasted chicken will actually become two. And you just do this for the remainder of your chicken breast. So I just prepared the flour mixture to coat my chicken with. I have about 2 cups of flour, salt, pepper, probably about a tablespoon of each for salt and pepper. Also put about a teaspoon of thyme and a teaspoon of paprika. You're going to just mix this together, blend everything together, and then you're going to coat your chicken. So I have my boneless chicken breast. I'm just going to grab a piece of my chicken breast. Just coat the chicken. You don't have to use an egg mixture to have it stick. Just put that. Do the same step for each chicken breast. So I've already coated all of my chicken breasts with the flour mixture. I have a large skillet that I'm heating up. While this is heating up, I'm going to start preparing my oregano. This is fresh oregano. If you are using the dry flakes, you can go ahead and omit this step, just skip it. But if you are using fresh oregano, you're going to just rinse it, pat it dry, and then you're just going to do a rough chop, and I'll show that in just a moment. Of the fresh oregano, I just removed the larger stems. If you still have a little bit of stems, that's okay. You can just remove that. So I have the oregano. I've already rinsed it, pat it dry, and I'm just going to kind of fold it together. Get a large knife and just do a rough chop to the fresh oregano. You just want it to be smaller pieces. So when you're actually eating this, and this oregano is actually going to go into the sauce that we're going to be making once we deglaze our saucepan. My saucepan is now heated. I'm going to drizzle about 1 to 2 tablespoons of olive oil. I'm also going to put about 2 tablespoons of butter. Coat that around, and then I'm just going to start putting in my chicken breast. You're going to cook the chicken breast on each side for about 5 minutes or until it reaches the internal temperature of 165 degrees. I use a meat thermometer to always check my chicken to make sure that it's thoroughly cooked. While you have the chicken cooking on the first side and your water is at a rapid boil, put in the angel hair pasta. Cook it based off of the directions on the box. For al dente, this says for me to cook it for about 4 minutes. You do not want to overcook your pasta because then your pasta becomes very mushy. So after about 4 to 5 minutes, you're going to drain the water, and then what I normally do is I shock the pasta by emptying out all the hot water and then putting cold water in the pasta, and that stops it from continuing to cook. So I still have my chicken cooking, and now I'm just going to do a rough cut on the sun-dried tomatoes. These are halves. I don't want them to be large pieces, so I'm just going to do a rough cut to make them into smaller pieces. So my pieces are about this big. And it doesn't have to be perfect, just quickly cut through them. In the meantime, I still have my chicken cooking and my pasta is still cooking as well. So about 2 more minutes and then I'm going to go on to the next step. The chicken has now reached an internal temperature of 165 degrees. Now I'm going to make the sauce for the Marry Me chicken. In the same pan that you've cooked the chicken in, I am just going to put some minced garlic. Now I already purchased the jar of minced garlic, so I don't ever have to worry about doing that. I'm going to put about a teaspoon of garlic in the saucepan, and I'm just going to saute that until it becomes translucent. On this step, you are still have the heat to low medium. Cook the garlic for about a minute or two. I like to get all the seasonings off. Mix that in. Now make sure that you don't overcook the garlic because then it kind of burns and then it gives it a different flavor. Now with the chicken stock, this is just 1 can of chicken broth. I'm going to start with about half a cup. Also with the heavy whipping cream. Going to pour in some heavy whipping cream. I would say about half a cup of whipping cream. Mix that around. Now my pasta, the angel hair pasta, is already cooked. So I've already drained the hot water and I've filled my pot with cold water so the pasta is no longer cooking. I'm going to raise the heat to medium-high. Let that start cooking. Now with the fresh Parmesan, I'm going to drizzle some Parmesan all around my liquid. So this is probably about a cup. And the whole point is just to get the sauce to start to thicken. It's almost like an Alfredo sauce that you're going to pour right over the chicken and the pasta. Now, if you want to take the pasta out and put it in another bowl and just reserve some of the pasta, the liquid from the pasta, you can add about 1/4 of a cup to 1/2 a cup of the liquid from the pasta water. Put some butter, sprinkle some garlic powder on there, and then you'll basically instantly have garlic noodles. So I'm just going to let that cook until it starts to thicken. The sauce has been cooking for about 5 minutes. If you notice that it's too liquidy, too runny, just add more of the Parmesan cheese. I've added some thyme, the cut up sun-dried tomatoes, and the fresh oregano that we minced earlier. Just gonna let that continue to cook. My sauce is starting to thicken, so I'm gonna turn off the heat, and now I'm going to plate the angel hair pasta with the chicken over it, and then I'm going to drizzle the sauce right over. So I have the angel hair pasta, the grilled chicken that we cooked, and now you're just going to drizzle the sauce right over the chicken and the pasta. If you have extra of the Parmesan cheese, you can drizzle some of the extra Parmesan cheese right over it. And here we have it. Marry Me chicken. Hope you enjoy.